Hello and welcome to my stamp studio. So today I wanted to share another new Class to Go kit featuring the Peaceful Moment stamp set and coordinating dies that are part of this beautiful Peaceful Poppies suite. And if you have the mini catalog, the suite of products are on pages 24 through 27. They are absolutely stunning. It's unfortunate we haven't been able to have classes because I have not used this set near enough. I absolutely love these. So the suite includes two different stamp sets, the Painted Poppies and the Peaceful Moments. And I had a hard time choosing which one to use for this class. But if you look here, I'll try and make this just a little smaller here so you can see. This was the Painted Poppies. This one actually has more stamped images and then more design element framelits that coordinate with that. Whereas the Peaceful Moments has some beautiful mixed font sentiments and then coordinates with a floral die set. And I just thought that with all the sentiments, this one was probably a little more useful for people. But do not get me wrong. I love creating with both of these. So it was a very hard choice for me to make. But I did go with the Peaceful Moments. But I thought I'd take the opportunity just to show you one of my other absolute favorite, and I feel like a must-have from this suite. And that is the Peaceful Poppies DSP. And I'm going to show each of these to you one at a time because I really want you to appreciate each one of them. They're so beautiful. So here's the first one. This is a 6x6 piece that I cut, but as you know, Stampin' Up! DSP comes 12 by 12, and you get 2 sheets of each of these designs. And not only are they on a beautiful on this side, but when you flip them over, you have a stunning, beautiful complementary second side. Okay, so that's the first one. Here's the second one. Again, just beautiful watercolor wash poppies on this with a little bit plain Poppy Parade water wash on the back, which obviously complements all these pattern papers beautifully. Here's another one, and I'm loving this. Super simple to make a card. Basically cut that down to your card size and the work is done for you. It makes a beautiful background to anything. Here's more of a green wash here to complement. And then this one, I really love the abstract of this. This is just so pretty, I think. And the back side with some purple wash with white polka dots. And then there's this one. And this one has just a little different. They threw in a little bit of, I think it's ballet blue in this, with a little stripe, but also still has a little bit of that watercolor look to make it coordinate. And then there's this one with a white background and then the colored flowers. And this is a favorite. I love this Granny Apple Green stripe. Okay, so absolutely lovely DSP, and we're going to use that in one of my Class to Go kits here. So let's talk about the stamp set. So here is the Peaceful Moments stamp set. It has wonderful all occasion greetings. So life is better with a friend like you. Always remember, you shouldn't have, but I'm glad you did. Happy birthday. Congratulations. With deepest sympathy, thinking of you with all my heart. These are the moments we'll look back on with joy. Thank you, and wishing you every happiness this special day. So you can just hear all the different occasions that you would be able to send cards for with this one simple 10 stamp set. Okay? This is a clear mount stamp set, has the cling label to it. So the coordinating dies are these here. And as you can see, again, they have given you quite a wide range of dies to play with. So you have some fun leaf patterns that coordinate. One is solid, one has a little opening with it here to be able to layer those and get kind of a two-tone effect with two different colors cardstock. Here as well, there are two differing leaf dies. One layers on top of the other with two different colors. It would make a really pretty layering leaf. You receive 3 of these small little centers to use with the flowers. There are these extra little leaves here, and then this is like a little leaf as well. And then this is a beautiful background punch out, cutout framelit that we're actually going to use in our project today. And then these beautiful flowers. So you receive a smaller poppy here that cuts out all the little detail of it, but then you have this one that coordinates with that you can just punch out solid. So that way you can layer the cutout on top of a solid and really make a beautiful flower with that. And then you have just a little bit larger one here that does the exact same thing. All these punch out, but you can layer it on a solid background, which just adds so much interest then to be able to build beautiful flowers with it. Okay? So that is the Peaceful Moments stamp set and bundle. All right? So, how can you get your hands on a free Class to Go kit from me using this bundle? The ordering dates for my Peaceful Moments Class to Go kit begins today and runs through May 24th. Okay? What is included in your Class to Go kit? With the purchase of this bundle, and when I say bundle, I am referring to this stamp set and these dies that I just showed you. And in your Class to Go kit, you would receive supplies to create 2 of each of these cards. Okay? You would receive, the supplies that you receive are all the cardstocks, papers, they're pre-cut and scored, the DSP, an envelope, pre-cut ribbon and embellishments needed to create 2 of each of these. I must point out that if you're not local, I do need to charge a $3 postage fee for mailing of the kit to you. Anything above and beyond what is included in the bundle, the stamp set and the dies, and the Class to Go kit, all the supplies that I just listed for you, I am offering at an add-on product list for a 10% discount, but only with the purchase of the bundle, the stamp set, and the dies. If you're interested in any add-on items, you must send me your order. I must place the order for you. It's the only way to give you the discount. All this information is in the description with this video, along with my contact information, so please feel free to get a hold of me if you have any questions and when you're ready to order. As I go through my demonstration today, I will try to point out as many add-on products as I can, all right? So that'll kind of help you identify what those products might be. So let's get stamping, let's ink it up. I think I'm going to start with this lovely floral card right there first. It is on a base card of Pretty Peacock. Let me show you the supplies you'll receive in this kit. Here they are. So you'd receive a Whisper White envelope, that Pretty Peacock base card that I just spoke about. You would receive a piece of 4 by 5 1/4 Whisper White for the inside. You'd receive a piece of pale pink cardstock that I actually ran through the Scripty 3D embossing folder, which would be an added-on product to this Class to Go kit. You would also receive a small square piece of Old Olive, 2 pieces of scrap Whisper White, another little smaller piece of Whisper White, a smaller piece of So Saffron, just a little strip of some rich razzleberry, and then 2 pieces, actually I take it back, 3 pieces, you're going to receive of the Perennial Essence Vellum cardstock. And it comes in 3 colors, pale pink, So Saffron, and Old Olive. You'll actually receive 2 pieces of Old Olive. So I decided to change this up because of this vellum. These colors are gorgeous, beautiful. You can see on the sample card that I showed you here, I actually used the pale pink on the flower, with the So Saffron background. The card I'm going to demonstrate to you now is going to flip those colors. I'm going to use the pale pink background, and I'm going to use the So Saffron vellum. So I just kind of changed up the colors, so you'll be able to make one of each color for both of your cards, okay? The other thing I want to point out here is that this card I showed you, I made a sympathy card. And then today, the demonstrated card, I'm going to make a birthday card. It's one of the things that I love about this stamp set is all the occasions you can get out of these words, okay? So all the cards we make today are going to have different sentiments on them. And you're welcome, obviously, to change it up and make them whatever your needs are, okay? All right, so let's get started. I have my Pretty Peacock base, and that was cut 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2 here. I went ahead, and because I'm going to make this a birthday card, I stamped one of the greetings from the stamp set in here, wishing you every happiness on this special day. And I'm just going to add some snail to that and add that to the inside. I guess it says this special day will bring. Okay, go ahead and give yourself with the bone folder a nice little crease across there. Then the next piece is this piece of pale pink, or it could be the So Saffron, one or the other. And with this piece, I went ahead and I added some of the Timeless, this is the 3/8 inch reversible ribbon. And this actually will carry over into the new catalog, but I have used this ribbon a lot. One side has just a little bit of a gold shimmery side, and then when you flip it over, it has just more of a solid center, but you still get that little bit of a green edge. The colors that coordinate with this lovely, I think, is this Pretty Peacock and then that little bit of Granny Apple Green or Old Olive Green too. So I really want to pull out the Pretty Peacock, so I'm going to leave that side up and have just a little less shimmer. But I am going to go ahead and add this to my card first because I want it to be on this piece before I add it down to my base. And all I simply did was just wrap it around the bottom part of that pale pink cardstock, okay? I'm going to go ahead and give myself just a little snip there. Notice how I'm kind of angling it a little bit so that way both of these ends here on down here show, okay? So kind of get that exactly where you want it. And then I think the easiest thing to do on the back side, once you have it where you want it, is just add a little bit of Scotch tape right there to that end. It will hold that back side a little bit. And then I would take and add just a little bit of snail right there, and maybe a little bit more right there, okay, to help hold that ribbon into place. And then I'm going to go ahead and attach it first before I trim up the ends of my ribbon. I'm going to apply this down with some dimensionals. And then I'm going to place it over here towards the side. If you want to center it, that's fine too, but I find it's just a little more of an interest when things are a little off skew. I'm going to go ahead and trim up my ends here, not too much because I don't want to waste that beautiful ribbon. Okay, so there we have the base of our card started and ready. I'm going to push that aside here and talk to you about the other pieces that come in this Class to Go kit. And I'm going to put these out like this because I want to make sure it's going to be a little confusing. So I wanted to make sure to have these out so that way you all would know. I feel like I'm playing cards here. You would all know what to do with all these pieces, okay? So those are the pieces you'll have in your kit. This one here, the little bit smaller one, is for the sentiment. So whichever sentiment you decide to use, that gets stamped on that one. Then you're going to have 2 Whisper white pieces, and one of those is going to be the large solid flower punch out. That one's going to go with that. The second one is going to be the little more ornate, fine lined flower image. Okay? Then you're going to have a piece of vellum that is going to either be the So Saffron or it's going to be the pale pink piece. Okay? You're going to have one of each of those to make one of each color. And that is what's going to get the solid flower image, just like this white one up here punched out. Okay? Now these green old olive pieces here, one is just cardstock, one is vellum cardstock. So out of the cardstock, you're going to take the solid leaf image. There's 2 of them in your bundle, and you're going to place those framelits on there, and that will cut out 2 of those for you. You need 2 per card. And then there's the little bit smaller one, and that's the one you're going to take, and you're going to cut 2 of those out of the vellum. Okay? And then that little piece of rich raspberry that you get, you're going to punch this little guy out. Okay? So that's going to be enough to be able to punch that one out there. Now, you have this piece of So Saffron cardstock, or it could be pale pink for your second card. And that is what you're going to use to punch out. I just had those. What did I just do with them? Here they are. To punch out this guy here. Okay? So you're going to come in here, and the So Saffron piece of cardstock might not be big enough, but that's okay, because all we want out of this one is just the center. Okay? So when I flip this over, I've already run that through, and I wanted to have an opportunity to talk to you about how to punch these out. I do suggest, because all these little flower petals are so thin and fine and dainty, that you do take your paper piercer and go around every single hole, and then if you hold it at the outside, you can take your paper piercer and you can push that center hole and be able to pull that out. Okay? Now, when you go to punch your white one out, you're going to have the whole, all the petals, the whole flower. But this So Saffron one or the pale pink one for the second card, you might not. It might be too small and it won't punch that out. But that's okay, because all we need is the center here. Okay? I'm going to go in here with my snips, and I'm just going to actually trim out all those little small, narrow petals, because all I want is the center. Okay? And then you end up with that. And we're going to use that to layer. Okay? So that's all the pieces that you're going to need. Let me get those solid pieces of cardstock out of here, and I'm left with all my pieces that you will have once you cut them out with the Big Shot. And then I'm going to show you how we put all these together. So you know that vellum sometimes you don't always want to use multi-purpose glue on. However, with this project, everything will be hidden. So I suggest using the multi-purpose glue, okay? So the first thing I want to attach here is my vellum solid piece to my Whisper white solid piece. And you need to kind of play with this just a little bit just to see exactly how these go together, okay? And they will, they'll match up. Obviously the same die, cut them out. Okay, once you figure out how to match those up there, go ahead and put just a little bit of multi-purpose glue in the center. I would not put it out here on the outer edges because then it could show, but just in the center there, and that's all you need really to hold it together. And then this white one here, again, find where it's going to match up, right like that, and then come in here with your multi-purpose glue and add it just to the center of this Whisper White flower. And then go ahead and match up all your outer edges there and press in the center to hold those together. And that's all you need. I actually think it's pretty that these pop up just a little bit. It does make your card a little daintier, so you have to be kind of careful. I'm going to take multi-purpose glue now on this So Saffron piece, and I'm going to add it. Now, because this was punched out of the same die, obviously this would match up perfectly right over the top here. But I think it's more fun just to leave it kind of off or a little skewed and let some of that white edge peek through there, okay? I think it adds a little more interest to the center of that flower. The next one I'm going to grab is that little rich raspberry center piece, and I'm going to use a glue dot to attach that right here in the center. I love this little center. You can come in here with your fingers and your thumb and really pop that up and give it some dimension and some interest. But they are fragile, so you have to kind of be careful. I kind of just bent that one a little bit. It's forgiving. Pretty, right? Then in your kit, you will also have some of the Perennial Essence Floral Centers. I love these little fuzzy centers. I just think these are really stunning in the center of a card. So they already have a little mini dimensional on them, so all you do is peel it off, and then you can attach it right there to the center. I just think it's perfect for this flower. Okay? Now we're done with our flower. Let's go to our leaves. So we have our 2 old olive cardstock bases here, and then we have these that we punched out of the Perennial Essence Old Olive Vellum cardstock. And I'm just going to take my multi-purpose glue. It doesn't take very much. Put a little bit on each of those leaves there. And then this actually sets a little off to the sides of all those leaves, okay? And I don't know if the camera is able to pick this up, but when you do this in person, you are going to be just like in awe. It's so pretty how much interest that really adds to that, just to have those 2 layers there and 2 different papers. Really pretty. Do the same thing here with this one. I find it easier to grab it by the bottom stem there and then just add a little bit onto each stem. Go ahead, flip that over, match up my bottom stem first, and then all those little leaves fall into place right where they should. Okay. And just give that just a little time to stick. Kind of just keep pressing it a little bit. Okay, so now I think we're ready to attach this to our card. I'm going to take just a regular size dimensional here and place just one behind my pretty flower. Right there. And then I'm going to do the same thing I did on that vellum. I'm just going to add just a little bit of multi-purpose glue there on the back side of that. And I think if you have to cut these down, you can. I think my sample, I actually did cut these down, but I'm getting by today with just hiding the bottom 3 tiers of that down underneath the flower. But if you needed to, you could go in with your scissors, because we're only going to use those top 3 center, and go in and you can trim that off, okay? Sometimes you don't get lucky with being able to stick it under because it will hit up against your dimensional in there. But because I only used one, I was pretty safe. Okay? There you go. Now, our sentiment. So I used the Timeless Label Punch here. This is an add-on item to this class. I came in here with my sentiment, and I actually punched it out way over to the right-hand side of this punch, like that, okay? The punch is actually just a titch big for that sentiment, but you still can use your punch and get a pretty edge and then trim off this extra here, okay? I'm going to go ahead and put 2 mini dimensionals on this side and this side of the punch out. And I'm doing that basically because I know I'm going to be layering this over a ribbon, and it will just lay a little nicer if the dimensionals are on either side of that. Okay? Okay, so there is our completed card. So you would receive supplies changed up a little bit with the colors. You're going to get to be able to make one with the pale pink flower and one with the So Saffron flower, okay? And I love that we can get so many different sentiments out of this card, okay? So that's the first card in this Class to Go kit. The second card, just to remind you, is this one, a completely different look, right? We're going to use that bright, bold DSP that's in this suite. And instead of that soft pastel color like the card we just made, we're going to do some nice, bright, bold colors, okay? So, your kit for this card, you will receive these supplies here. Of course, a Whisper White envelope. The card base is Poppy Parade. You would receive a Whisper White piece for the inside. And this one, I am actually making a congratulations card out of this one. My sample card was a thank you card with the Life is Better with a Friend Like You for the inside of it. But I decided to do for the second one, congratulations. And again, you will be able to change up your sentiments and greetings and make what you need. So that's what I love about this set. I'm going to go ahead and add my inside here. The other piece that, let's give this a nice little bone folder score there. And then it's going to lay much nicer and flat for us. There we go. A piece of Granny Apple Green. And I have run it through the Ornate Garden embossing folder, which is an add-on item to this class. Then you're going to receive another piece of Whisper White cardstock, a couple pieces of DSP here that we're going to use, and then another smaller piece of Whisper White, a little strip of Whisper White, and then a little small piece of basic black cardstock. Okay, so what are you going to do with all this? So the first thing, after you have run your Granny Apple Green through the embossing folder of your choice, or the Ornate Garden one if you decide to purchase that as an add-on item, go ahead and we're just going to attach this down. I used multi-purpose glue just to attach that. Okay, and then your little bit larger Whisper White piece is the piece that you're going to run through your Big Shot with this die here, okay? Now, when you run it through, we're actually going to run it through twice, and you're going to run it through once like this, and then you're going to run it through once like this. So basically all you're doing is putting it at each corner here. Okay? And when you're done, you will end up with this. A beautiful cutout. I just love this flower cutout. So many possibilities with this, but also just so pretty just to layer on top of another color or any kind of DSP, that kind of thing. Just beautiful. So that's actually our next piece that we're going to add on here. Look what happens when we put that on top of that Granny Apple Green. Isn't that gorgeous? So on the back side, as you can see, I have used more dimensionals than what I usually use. I have a couple large ones here, and then with these little intricate cutouts, I always like to put little small mini ones in here to really help pop it up and hold it up against, away from, I guess I should say, the layering piece underneath. It just shows it off so much more versus just layering or just laying right on top of it. So then we're going to go ahead and just layer that right here. And I kind of centered it top to bottom. It might be off just a little bit, but that's all right. But see how that pops up and just adds that dimension to that? The next piece I want to add is a piece of DSP. And I'm using a different DSP on this card than I even used on this card. So they will all be mixed up in the kits. You'll all receive different DSPs, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and I'm actually just going to attach a little bit of multi-purpose glue here at the top and a little bit at the bottom. I don't want to do too much because I don't want it to smash my cutouts. And this is a little bit longer. I meant for it to be a little bit longer than your green on the bottom. It just kind of shows it off, I think, a little bit more. But notice my multi-purpose glue is only hitting that white there and hitting that white there, okay? You don't want to get it too far out here on the edge. You kind of want your DSP to be able to pop up a little bit there, all right? The next thing I want to add is the flower. So you're going to take this little bit smaller piece of Whisper White that's in your kit, and you're going to punch it out with this framelit here, okay? And again, I just wanted to emphasize and show you that because these flowers are so dainty, you really need to grab them around the edge, poke through every hole, and then look, that one punched out before I even got through all the holes, okay? But it really helps, it really is a nice way to be able to punch it out. There's a little small framelit like this in the bundle, and that is going to become the center of this flower here. And I'm just going to attach it with a little glue dot. Sometimes when I have small things like this, I sometimes will attach it to my roll, and I'll use my Pick a Tool paper piercer end to then grab it and be able to come over and attach something. Okay? Just makes it a little bit easier versus your big fingers. Okay, so that's that. And then I do want to go ahead and, you know, I think I'm going to put my greeting on before I put, and then I'll put my flower on to make sure that it's placed correctly. I'm using the Congratulations from this set. And I just used black Memento ink in this class. I am going to go ahead and I'm just going to trim this up a little bit. I'm going to give myself a nice straight edge over here. But then down here, I'm going to give myself a little flag cut. And let me show you how you can do something to get it even. I can go right up the center, and then I can come over here on the side, and I can just cut that right up the side. And that way you know you're centered and that you have a perfectly even little flag or pennant cut there, okay? That is going to get layered onto this green stripe piece. So I think I'll just go ahead and put a little bit of snail on that. And kind of find where you want your green stripe to be. I'll give you plenty of paper here to really be able to line it up and show off exactly the stripes and where you want them. So I'm going to come down here and I'm just going to cut that off actually there, I decided. More even there at the end of that green, okay? And then this is going to get placed over here. I'm just going to take my multi-purpose glue and go ahead and attach that down here in this corner. I don't want to cover up any of my pretty cutout. And now I think we're ready for our flower. And all I'm going to do to attach this flower is just put a little bit of multi-purpose glue right back behind the center there, okay? I think I might have gotten just a little too much. Here's a trick. I just picked up that little piece of DSP to use as kind of a little picker-upper to pick up some of that glue there because I got a little too much. And then it's up to you where you place your flower. I'm going to poke just a little edge of that underneath my sentiment there. And there you go. Okay? Isn't that pretty? Now the inside on this congratulations card, remember I put these are the moments we'll look back on with joy. And then you will also have another little strip of the DSP in your kit that I'm just going to add a little bit of multi-purpose glue to. And I always think it's fun. Don't throw away your scraps of all this pretty paper because you can always come up with another little strip or something to be able to add to the bottom edge of an inside of your card like that. I think that adds a lot to that. Makes it look really pretty. So there you have it. This is the Class to Go kit that coordinates with the Peaceful Moments stamp set and the supplies you would receive to make 2 of each of these cards, okay? For a total of 4, I guess I should say, all right? So I appreciate you joining me today. I hope you enjoyed watching me demonstrate these cards. I hope that you consider grabbing this Peaceful Moments bundle and taking a good look at the Peaceful Poppies suite. There are some beautiful products in this suite. If you like my video, please like, comment, and share it. And I offer some winner prizes, and so you can't win if you don't share. So the winners will be announced on the last day of this Class to Go kit, May 24th. Thanks for joining me, and have a good rest of your day.